Hi everyone, it's Gary here, and a warm welcome to the fourth official here on YouTube in the aftermath of Rangers' 3-1 victory at Tannadice today in the Scottish Premiership. And once again, it was an eventful afternoon with plenty to talk about. And you can join us over on our Patreon site. It's www.patreon.com/the4thofficial to get all the post-match analysis, myself and Will, available over there for subscribers from only £3 a month. But here on YouTube, a couple of things that I want to highlight and speak about coming out of the game. And first of all is the controversial decision by referee Nick Walsh to send off Rangers midfielder Mo Diomande in the 5th minute of stoppage time for what was deemed to be a slap in the face following a push from Dundee United defender Kevin Holt. Now, despite being recommended to go over and take another look at it by VAR Don Robertson, referee Nick Walsh decided to double down and stick with his original opinion and send off the Rangers midfielder. Quite an incredulous decision, given that there was next to no force from the Rangers midfielder. He was off balance, having been pushed by Kevin Holt, and there's no movement by the Dundee United's defender's face as if there's been any form of force or slap or anything like that. He doesn't fall to the ground. He doesn't appear to have been struck. And despite having umpteen opportunities to look at it on the video replay after being recommended to go and take a look at it, Nick Walsh decides, nope, there is some excessive force or intent there, and decides to stick with his decision to send off Mohamed Diamande. Now, Philippe Clement, in his post-match comment, stated that Rangers will be appealing the decision, quite rightly, in my opinion. I think it was a farcical decision to send him off, and there's been plenty of debate across social media channels, and our friends over at the Ref's View podcast, it's Des Roach and Steve Conroy, two ex-Grade 1 officials in Scotland, also agreeing that it was nowhere near a red card offence from Mohamed Diamande. And it'll be interesting to see what happens in terms of the appeal, because shortly after the final whistle, there was what appeared to be a statement released via the SFA stating Nick Walsh's opinion that there had been intent from Mo Diomande to slap Kevin Holt, and that was the reason why he decided to stick with his decision on there. Now, that statement was later retracted and stated it was an off-the-record conversation. Obviously, deemed to be not wanting to compromise the likely appeal coming in from Rangers regarding this one. But yet again, yet another football match, and we've come out of it looking at the fact that it's been a poor refereeing decision, and not for the first time this season in matches involving Rangers that there are questions to be answered once again by Willie Collum in terms of performance of the referee. Nick Walsh, not content with sending off 4 players on Thursday night in Europa League match involving Rangers opponents this weekend, Union Saint-Gilloise, decided that I want a little bit more drama. I want my name in all the papers again tomorrow, and that's exactly what's going to happen now as a result of this. Really poor decision, and something that only in Scottish football are you going to see a decision of that magnitude. And yeah, we'll wait and see what happens with regards to the appeal. But for me, it's an absolute stonewaller in terms of that being overturned. Mo Diamande looked absolutely crestfallen when he was sent off. None of the Rangers players seemed to understand why it was given. And for me, it should be overturned on appeal. And after the match, what then transpired was yet again more Panto Punditry from the Sky Sports Scotland team. Chris Boyd and Chris Sutton in the studio alongside ex-Dundee United defender Sean Dillon and Ailey Barber. Once again, with this pantomime of coverage from Scottish football, going back and forward. Chris Boyd, quite rightly, in my opinion, stating that it's not a red card offence, and Chris Sutton automatically having to take the default opinion of, well, yes, it is, and you can't go about slapping people in the face. Now, we've all seen Chris Sutton on BBC punditry programmes, Match of the Day 2, for example, on 5 Live Sport. And Chris Sutton is very capable of holding a unbiased and quite objective opinion on football matters and on punditry, but not when it comes to Scottish football and particularly Rangers matches. He almost feels he has to play a character of being the anti-Chris Boyd and someone that's there for the opposite side. Now, today it was Rangers versus Dundee United. There was no need for Chris Sutton to actually be involved in the coverage whatsoever on that today when you can't be seen as being objective. You've got Chris Boyd there who's seen to be the Rangers opinion. You've got Sean Dillon there, who's quite clearly there to be the Dundee United opinion on there. We've seen the likes of Joe Lewis involved when it's been Aberdeen games in the past. And again, he gives a very one-sided view of what it's like from the Aberdeen camp. You then got James McFadden on commentary, who, again, seemed to be doubling down on the fact that it could have been a red card offence. And this lack of objectivity, particularly when it comes to Scottish games, and then the pantoness and the back and forward, the arguments that are there just designed to rile up football supporters and engage and comment on the likes of Facebook and on Twitter. It's not a good look. It's never been a good look. It's not good coverage. It's not entertaining to watch. It's actually quite embarrassing. And I urge anyone that's watching this to contact Sky Sports, whether it's on social media platforms, whether it's via their website, and tell them, for a company that spends so much money on promoting the English game and giving proper in-depth analysis and coverage and talking the game up, they seem to be very, very happy to have this sort of pantomime-like coverage of Scottish football where it's he said, she said, fighting and argument and talking over each other, and it's just not entertaining to watch. It's not proper analysis. It's not proper insight. It's just really, really poor coverage, and it has been now for a number of years. And for Sky, if they are wanting to present Scottish football in a positive light, then they need to properly look at their coverage and how they can present it better. Ian Crocker has been the voice of Scottish football on Sky now for nearly 15, 16 years, and it's time for fresh ideas. It's time to freshen that up a little bit. You already lost Andy Walker a couple of years ago, but replacing him with James McFadden on there, again, doesn't bring anything new to the table. It's just another similar voice. And when they're picking on-screen ex-players, likes of Sean Dillon, the likes of Joe Lewis, there's nothing there that's insightful, that's entertaining, that's a look at what's happening on there. You look at the BBC's coverage of the Champions League, for example, and people like Stephen Warnock who are there and they're looking into it from a tactical perspective. Get none of that in Sky's Scottish football coverage. You're getting 15 minutes after the game of a fight and an argument and talking over each other, and then that's it until the following week. And for me, it's not good enough, and it's time to ask for a change, because for me, it's a slap in the face, and the one slap in the face that was today is in the paying public that pay Sky Sports every week to watch their shocking coverage of Scottish football. They don't take it seriously, so why should we take Sky Sports seriously? As I said, come and join us over on our Patreon site for full match analysis of today's game, and on there you can hear all of our other podcasts and see all of our articles written on there as well. For less than £3 a month, we'd be delighted to see you over there. As always, a big thank you for watching here on YouTube. I'll speak to you next time. Goodbye.